I remember how it happened.
You do?
Let's go to the Poconos and buy an alligator.
Is that what?
Yeah, that's how that happened.
Did?
Frank.
I would have sworn
that was Frank's fault.
He had us come look at his house. He just renovated the house.
Yeah.
And we walk in, and it's this beautiful home. From what I remember, there was like a knee wall, maybe 2 feet high.
Yep.
And there's an alligator in the middle of his lobby.
Yeah.
How do you buy an alligator?
You got to go to Pennsylvania. All right, let's go to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so we road tripped up.
Bought an alligator. It was a baby alligator.
Yeah, well, he started as a baby alligator. They grow fast.
And they are not nice.
No. I was convinced that if I handled this thing every day, that it would become like a pet.
It was,
and they don't. I could tell you for sure that does not happen.
No, it doesn't happen.
We bought a tank. It ran the whole wall. I remember
it had to be 8 feet
behind us. We put a sign up. Accounts payable.
Accounts payable.
That's
right.
right.
That was Billy ran the accounts payable department. I actually sent a couple of calls to Billy, so you're gonna have to talk to Billy.
Gotta go. Welcome, everyone, to the Casandra Properties podcast. We are going to have some fun today. I am joined by a longtime business partner, friend, brother, you name it, the legendary John Pitera.
I don't know about legendary, but
how we doing, baby?
What's going on, pal?
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for the invite. This is very cool. This is
so,
a first.
Yeah, this is a first for me and John. For those of you who don't know, we first partnered
98.
98?
98.
Bro, you're getting old.
Me.
Oh, my God. So, back in 1998, I actually remember the day. So, John and I were good friends in high school.
Yeah.
Right? And then college happened, and we went our own ways. And we came back. And John will correct me throughout the podcast because I have absolutely no memory whatsoever. So I make half this shit up as we go. But I remember I was working in 1293 Clove.
Yeah.
Right? And I saw you whipping in and whipping out, and you were hustling, doing your thing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, this guy's constantly on the go. He's got to have stuff going on. We should sit down and re-engage. And we did. And that was
23 years.
That was the start, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was the start. I remember your mother. So I was working. I was doing some stuff with my father in his office.
In the lab, right?
In the lab, yeah, in the lab. And I saw your mother one day, and she said, well, "Why don't you have your real estate license?" I said, "Well, I don't sell real estate." You know, what do I know? It was 23 years old, 24 years old. I don't sell real estate. And she told me, she says, "I'll make you a promise." She said, if you go get your license, I'll make it worth your while. So what do I got to lose?
So was that before I spoke to you?
Yes.
It was.
That was before.
So this was already in the works.
Yep.
See, 23 years.
Yeah.
Oh, it was more than...
So it was the summer. I remember everything by cars.
Right.
I remember, so I remember, so that car, I bought that car, and it was summer of 98.
98?
Yeah, so I remember I got my license right around Thanksgiving of 98.
So what was the hoopty you had in high school?
Oh, the caddy?
The Caddo.
Just bought a replica of it.
You did? You got it?
Same year, make, model, color, options, the exact car.
What year was it?
83.
And that was the...
Black on black, Cadillac Seville.
See, I would have argued it was brown.
Well, it was black and gold. The exterior was my father's. So it was my father's car. He had it custom painted. It was black and gold on the outside, black interior. And I found, except for the custom paint, which he had done himself, it's the exact car. Exact car. So it's getting restored.
We had a lot of fun in that car.
I hated that miserable car. Now I'm looking forward to it. That was a great car because that was the car we grew up with. You know, that was the family vacation car. That was. That was our car, yeah, and then it became mine, then I hated it. And now I got it again.
So we went on quite a journey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We started in 1293.
Yeah.
And we started to grow and put together a team.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I was in the office with a toolbox, ripping walls down. My mother immediately threw us out.
Yeah, immediately threw us out. I mean, it was Fast and Furious. Let's see. So that had to be in
Early
2001.
So 2001.
2001. Yeah, it was after. Yeah.
So people don't see the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
And we had no place to go.
Nothing.
My mother was absolutely not letting us back into the office. That was out of the question.
That was out of the question.
So we went and we grabbed desks, right? And
Staples.
We went and we built the desks in my basement.
Below grade realty.
Below the grade realty. A friend of ours used to torture us all the time because at that point we were busy as all hell. We were starting to put a team together and we're doing projects, and one day we had no place to
go.
operate from. So we threw it together, and we kind of just got comfortable, and one thing was happening after the next, and this guy comes by, and we had the side access, remember the steps, and he comes downstairs.
Yep.
He comes downstairs.
Can't handle it.
Can't handle it. What are you doing? Below the grade realty. You got to get out of here.
We did well there, though.
We did.
We did well.
We did. Well, he was right. It was time.
Yeah, and then it was probably my favorite time, the 201B days.
201B. So, folks, at that point, when we had to kind of make it official, we opened up another branch of the office, and it was at 2071 Clove Road. It was a shopping center that, at that point, had we sold it yet?
No.
We didn't.
No, and that was in 2000 and... we started that the year that my daughter was born. That's how long ago this is. This is 03.
Oh, wow.
That was 02, end of 02, beginning of 03 is when that started.
We took one room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we had the desks made.
Yep. That's right. Oh, my God.
Remember those desks?
Yes.
We had the desks made.
That's right. We had the desks made, and that's when we got Billy.
That's when we got Billy.
Right?
That's when we got Billy.
So we had...
You can tell that story.
I didn't even remember how it happened. I just remember...
I remember how it happened.
You do?
Let's go to the Poconos and buy an alligator.
Is that what...
Yeah, that's how that happened.
Did?
Frank.
I would have sworn
that was
somebody...
Frank's fault.
Yes.
Frank had one? I don't want to say any names. I don't...
No, yeah, first names are all right.
Yeah, first names are okay. But yeah, Frank had one. And interesting enough, I talked to Frank about a week and a half ago, and they just took his latest one.
Did they?
They took it.
So we went to, I remember he had us come look at his house. He just renovated the house.
Yeah.
And we walk in, and it's this beautiful home. And from what I remember, there was like a knee wall, maybe 2 feet high.
Yep.
And there's an alligator in the middle of his lobby.
Yeah.
Of his home.
Well, no, that wasn't home. That was 11. Well,
oh, that's right.
That was
the
building.
Office, the building.
Yeah, that was the building.
Yes. See,
That
I
was
would
the
have
building.
sworn
It was in his
home.
office, and that's how we got the idea. And he was like, "Well, you can how
do
does
you
this
buy an
happen?
alligator?
You got to go to Pennsylvania. All right, let's go to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so we road tripped up.
Bought an alligator.
And
Baby alligator?
It was a baby alligator.
yeah, well, he
At the time
started
it
as
was.
a baby alligator. And folks, for anyone out there, they grow fast.
And they are not nice.
No, I was convinced that if I handled this thing every day, that it would become like a pet.
It was.
And they don't. I could tell you for sure that does not happen.
No, it doesn't happen.
And we had him in that. We bought a tank, then we bought a bigger tank, and we bought a bigger tank.
It was a 150-gallon tank, I think, by the end of it.
Yeah, it ran the whole wall. I
It
remember
had to be
sat
8 feet.
behind us.
Had to be 8 feet long.
And we put a sign up, accounts
payable.
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That was Billy ran the accounts payable department. I actually sent a couple of calls to Billy, so you're gonna have to talk to Billy.
Got to
Billy
go.
does accounts payable. People had no idea.
They had no idea. And then I remember, like, to keep him active, like as they said that you did have to interact with them, and of course, I loved them like I loved any pet. I did. I
know.
So I used to hang
Chicken cutlets.
Chicken cutlets, right? We used to go to Louis up on Highland Boulevard, and we would get fresh chicken cutlets, and I would hang them from the top of the tank because he would have to kind of use his belly to shoot up for it. And
I have pictures of all this.
You do?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got pictures of all. Yeah.
So we had Billy until he bit me.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I blame that on you completely.
Of course.
You distracted me when I was feeding.
You. Yes, that's fine.
And he caught my finger.
He got you good.
He did.
I have a picture of that.
He did.
He got you good. And then Billy went back to the Poconos.
Back to the Poconos.
Yeah, he went back to
We didn't
the
let
same
him go
place.
in the lake.
No!
Just for those of
No.
you who are wondering. Billy is doing well.
I could see the emails coming in.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's up in the farm.
Yeah, we
And,
took him back to the preserve, and they were like, "Oh yeah, sure. Wow, he got big." I'm like, "Yeah, he got big. Now get him the hell out of my truck." And
You had to talk me out of getting another one.
yeah, that was a bad idea.
So 201B, we started to bring other agents in, and that's when we started, I think, to first transition. We were doing land assemblages back then.
Yeah, and that was so the big project that we did then was Moselle. Remember Moselle?
Yeah.
86 homes.
Yep.
I think we sold I think the land sale was $295.
Was it that cheap?
Yeah, it was under three. I think it was under $3 million.
For 86 houses.
86 houses, and we were selling them. And at the time, people said, "You're nuts! You're nuts! You're nuts!" We were selling the middle units, which were the B models and the D models. This is how crazy my memory is. It was the B models and the D models, which were the interior units. They only had they were great homes. I mean, they were nice. They were nice. They were $189,900.
Wow. So that
and
part.
then we jumped them to $199, and that was like the big thing.
Yeah. I remember that. And we were so excited.
Yeah.
Every couple of units, we started ticking the price up.
Yeah.
We blew the doors off the pro forma. The developer did great.
We sold 86 homes, and I think it was under 6 months.
Yeah.
It was under 6 months from the time that we started pre-construction sales to the time that our last model was in contract was under 6 months. Looking back at it, it seems like it was so much longer of a period of time because so much happened. It was so much going on, and I remember at the time I had a Jeep. I had a Jeep. Remember my green Wrangler? I had 50 cars, 60, whoever knows. But I remember I had a Jeep, and we were selling so fast that we were selling, in the areas of development. There was no even foundations poured yet. So I would take people in my Jeep through the mud.
Yep.
Down to the end. Everything was staked out for, the foundation location surveys were done. So we would, take people all the way down to the end, and I would show them this is where it's going to be. And I remember every Sunday when we were done with open houses, my Jeep looked like I went, went off-roading through mud. I had to get it washed every Sunday, but it was great. And we sold them. I mean, we did well. We had fun.
Was that before Nicole Loop or after?
So Nicole Loop was before me.
That was before you.
Yeah,
That was my
so
first
you had about a
new
year and a
construction
half on
set.
me when I came in. And you had just finished Nicole Loop when I started in the business. So Moselle was the first big land project we did.
Yep.
It was, and it was nice because then we learned, about the whole selling, sell the land and help plan the sites. We did the models in that house.
Yep.
We did all the material selection. That was our first, our first real land job. Hang on, let me shut this.
As you think about it, that was the birth of
Everything.
our consulting division.
Everything.
That was the birth of our new
Yeah.
construction, our land sourcing.
Absolutely.
All we got a good reputation for selling pre-construction. I remember
Yep.
all the builders kind of
Yep.
got word that we sold this piece and we were knocking them out. Like you said, the foundations weren't even in yet.
Yep.
And quick story related to that builder, and I tell this to some of my people here. Everyone knows the expressions, right? You don't judge a book by its cover.
100%.
But this
Yep.
guy, I will never forget. I got a call. It was a Friday afternoon,
Yep.
late afternoon, maybe
Yep.
4 or 5 o'clock, and he wanted to see a
I remember the
townhouse
street, pal.
in Pleasant Plains. I remember that. I don't remember the street, but what was the street? Now you got to tell me. Sharrett. So he wanted to see it Friday afternoon. Traffic battling in the summer on a Friday afternoon is just miserable. And I'm thinking to myself, put it off. Do we really want to go do this? And said, you know what? Go, right? I wanted to kind of go and grow what I was doing. I felt like I wanted to run down every lead. So I went out there and we met. You were with me.
No, I
You
didn't.
weren't.
I was,
You met me afterwards.
I met you afterwards. I remember it was a Friday afternoon. We were by Slauson Avenue, and so I guess this was Slauson, right by the highway. And you said, "I'm going to go take a run out and meet him. I remember who we were doing the house. It was Alan's project.
Yep.
Another good guy, was very good to us when we were young.
Yep.
We'll get into that stories later. He was good for a few stories.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so go ahead.
So I went out, I met him, and he was there with a friend of his, and he was looking as just a friend to look for her.
She was looking. It was for
Right,
her,
she
but
was
she was
looking.
there because she never bought a house before.
Right. And this guy starts talking to me about, if you have any land projects, and I'm sitting there thinking, he had old sneakers on, ripped jeans, a T-shirt, and he was talking about multi-million dollar projects. Now, back then, to buy a $4 or $5 million piece of land, you were balling. Like, that was a big deal. And as I'm thinking, back, I remember vividly, I was like, is this guy full of crap? Like, are you serious? And I said, you know what? There's one way to tell, and we've always said this, right? There's
I use
one
it
way
to this
tell
day.
if someone is for real. Put a real deal in front of them.
Yeah.
So we went back, we talked, we found the site, which we ran down. Was that at NASA Your Goods Day?
No.
Victor Freudman?
No. Yeah, it was.
That wasn't Victor.
It was Barney.
Yes, wow. Gee, you do have a good memory, man.
Yeah, certain things, but ask me what I ate for breakfast. I will sit here and no idea. But yeah, that was those guys. It was him and his partner.
So he made an offer, and he was like, "I'll close it in 30 days. We'll get this done. 1, 2, 3." And the whole way through, I'm thinking, this guy's full of crap, and he's wasting my time. But again, let's see. Let's take the ride and see if it happens. And as sure as we're sitting here, he closed.
He closed.
He got it done in 30 days.
Lived up to everything that he promised us he would do.
Yep.
Everything.
Every single thing. So that was our first kind of jump in. And then from there, we sold him millions and millions of dollars worth of land.
Yep. I'm still in touch with his brother.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing all right.
He was doing a club thing for a while, right?
Yeah. Now the horses.
Horses?
Yeah.
So he was an eccentric guy. And again, if I would have...
And a smart guy.
Oh, wicked smart.
Very, very smart.
Wicked
very good
smart.
Businessman.
Yeah.
Really taught me a lot.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Really good experience.
A lot of the guys we worked with, and I feel like, we kind of came up with
we
them.
were young.
Yeah.
We were in our 20s. It was 26, 27, and we worked hard.
Yeah.
We worked hard. And a lot of that,
sure.
some people saw that, and, we still do to this day. We're still, it's part of us.
Yeah.
It's how we were raised. It's in us. I'm not looking to change it, but it's, it definitely, it's a double-edged sword. It's definitely had its costs to it.
Cuts both ways.
But, people saw back then where we wanted to see it through.
Yeah.
I think that's looking back on it, I think that's maybe why we were able to do some of these things, because we weren't just interested in generating a dollar. Like it was we wanted to see it through to the end of it. Like even today, like to looking back on it, you go from being what at the time was just an underdeveloped, underappreciated piece of land that nobody had the foresight to see through.
Yep.
And, I remember the day we closed the last home. I remember that day. Remember the attorney's name was Jim? Remember Jimmy?
Jimmy who?
Started with an M.
No. Jimmy M.
Jim Mosco.
Oh, my God. Wow.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Again, another guy taught us a lot. And I remember he called the last day. He said, you guys did it.
Yeah.
He said, everything you said you would do, you guys follow through. And and that's what we did. We did a couple other projects from there. But like I said, that I think really gave us the reputation, because that project sat through, there's probably about 3 or 4 brokers before we did it. And there were people that were a lot more seasoned than we were at the time, right?
Yep.
But it didn't matter.
We always saw Staten Island in a different light.
Yeah.
Right. We always saw Staten Island's potential, and we ended up, unfortunately, having to sell a lot of the bigger projects to off-island guys because they came in with a clean slate. They didn't have all of the baggage, that others had kind of built up about what Staten Island was. And it's
There was no preconceived notions
Yeah.
with a lot of the clients that we had, and we caught a lot of crap for it. If
yeah.
you remember, we
Yep.
caught a lot of crap for it. You bring in all these people in that part of the group, and they say, and our answer was, well, they listen to us.
Yeah. We never went and didn't give the local folks a shot at it. We
No.
always wanted to. That was our,
Yeah.
look, obviously we wanted to try and foster
Sure.
relationships with the local builders, but, and some of them did, and some of them, we worked with.
Yeah.
But on the bigger stuff, oftentimes we ended up with folks from off island, and we've had a lot of success with
And
it.
we were actually, we were known for that for a
Yeah.
while. And that's another funny thing. We were known as the source to go to on deals that were marketed, remarketed, and remarketed.
Yep.
If you wanted to get that kind of fresh eyes, we were able to do that.
Mill Road.
That's a great story.
It was on the
now
market
we're
for
jumping
2 years.
So this was 2000. So we finished off with Moselle. We did. I think before we jumped to Mill, I think that we owe a couple of minutes to talk about Alan.
Yes.
And I haven't spoken to him in years and years and years.
I just saw him.
No way.
I just saw him.
Is he still yelling at everybody? And
And he looks the same. The guy still looks the same. He's still telling crappy jokes.
still telling crappy
He's still
jokes?
barking at everybody.
Remember the shoe joke?
No.
I'm making my shoes. And he did. I don't know. The Italian shoes. The guy with the Italian
Yes.
shoes. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot how
that
to-
was his
yeah,
shtick.
that
Is
was-
if
yeah.
every meeting he would come in and he would get up and do a little bit of stand up.
Yeah, he had like a Jackie Mason kind of thing going.
Yeah.
And that one time, we actually saw Jackie Mason with him. Remember when he came in and did that bit at the, what was that it was the place on Highland Boulevard.
No.
I remember what it was
We
called.
saw Jackie Mason?
Yeah, he came in for one of the Builders Association meetings.
I'm
Probably
shocked.
2000. Yeah, Jackie Mason came in.
I'm shot.
Yeah. It's 21 years ago.
Yeah, but you would think you'd remember Jackie Mason.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he came in, and he did a stand up thing, and it reminded me of him. But so, do you remember? This is. Let's see. I'll go back to 99, 2000. We did something. We did something for Alan, and we closed. The deal closed, and he was trying to say, "I'll pay you guys on Monday."
yes.
And you had a trip planned.
Yep.
I remember you were going away. And,
You gotta carefully redact things as we go along.
Yeah, and we were young. So, do you remember what happened?
I remember we went. What was it?
Outside the attorney's office,
Yes, that's right.
and your mom caught wind of it.
Well, and it wasn't even so much just a disagreement on when we were going to get paid. There were some other inconsistencies in that conversation too.
Try to be nice.
Yeah. Right?
Try to be nice.
That's right.
Your mom caught wind of it.
Yep. I remember she flew down there.
Rollers.
Yep.
With the girl, and there was no problem.
Nope.
There was
She
no
made
problem.
a scene and a half.
And a half.
And he paid us.
Yeah, with the quickness. I would have too.
Yeah, you don't mess
You don't mess with CZ.
Oh boy.
No. So anyway, so we had some really good. Again, another guy that I think taught us a lot. Yes, about the development and land buying process and how to value, cost of development, about the process. But he taught me a lot of life lessons too.
Yeah.
A
A lot of these guys did.
Yeah. He was. I remember him saying, he goes, "My entire business is in somebody that's young, is in the hands of two people that are younger than my daughter."
Yep.
I remember he said that, and we're like, "Yeah, pretty much."
We always did the right thing.
Always.
Yep.
Always. And remember, so we did a lot of stuff with him. We had some good times. There was the development out in Pleasant Plains that we did. Remember the big homes there, and then we did Orchard Avenue. Remember Orchard Avenue? Those homes. That was a lot of fun. We probably did. I'd say, call it 70 houses with him.
Yep.
Alan.
And we lost him as a client. Remember why?
No, I don't.
He had a deal he was speccing on. You and I had a conversation. This was back in 2006. We did our usual open house thing on Sundays. We went back to the office like we typically did, and we both looked at each other and said,
It's over.
It's exactly right. We said,
I remember the house. Now I remember this.
Now you remember the job?
I remember the job.
And he was looking at a big job. We had done all of his work at that point. We were building a really nice kind of thing together. And he came to us and said, what do you think it's worth?
And we told him.
And we told him, and he just wanted, this was a job that would have put him over the top. It was a job of decent size.
Yeah.
And it would have put him over the top. And as badly as we wanted to do it, as brokers, we ethically
couldn't do it.
That's the God's honest truth. And we at first we told him no, and he kind of pushed, and we continued to say no. And then we found out he was going with a different broker because we wouldn't sign on to the project. And then we pleaded with him and said, look, this is over. There's certain signs that we're seeing that are telling us that when you come out of the ground on this thing in a year and a half,
you're done.
You're done. It's a different world.
I really wish we were wrong.
Oh, of course.
Really wish we were wrong. And not that we were, geniuses.
No,
it's just that was a now we're jumping too far ahead, but that was a wild time. And literally, I remember we spoke about it probably 6 months before. I remember, just one of our probably late night conversations, and we were just saying that when it ends, there wasn't going to, we didn't see it coming gradually.
Right.
There was no, there wasn't going to be anything that, okay, now these three things have happened. It was just going to be that the switch went off.
Yep.
And there was no dimmer.
No.
There was no dimmer switch. It was as much as it was crazy, it just stopped.
Yep. We didn't have the experience or the wisdom or knowledge of all the metrics behind what was happening. Right. We knew, though, in 2006 that the music was going to stop. And when it did, there wasn't going to be a chair for every backside. Yeah. We knew that it was going to hit, and it was going to hit hard. It just didn't make sense, right? When people were going to closings and they were leaving with money. They were actually leaving with money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
So let's table this. Let's go back to Mill, because I think that there's a good, I don't know how long you have planned, but we could
we literally could be here forever, but we usually go about an hour.
So it's not going to cut it.
Yeah, I know.
That was not going to cut it, I don't think. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about, I think, Mill Road, because that was a really pivotal project. Come out of Moselle, same builders, same developers.
Yep.
I remember we were in the office. This was when we were finally allowed back into 1293.
And that was short-lived.
That was short-lived. And we were back in, we were back in there in the conference room, and Tom came in with that site, and it was out there for a while. Mm-hmm. And what the property was, it was just kind of outlived its, I guess, useful age, and it had to be kind of reimagined. And
the old bowling alley.
Yeah, and the bubble, and it was just, it was kind of, it just didn't meet what the market was coming into, and they were looking at it for the commercial purposes. And by that time, Alan had really taught us how to read the zoning handbook.
Yep.
And we noticed that there was a residential overlay on that piece. Yep. And we did some quick math. I remember we walked into my little cubicle at the time. We did some quick math, and we came back and we said, well, how about we do this? And we laid it out. And I think we made a phone call.
Yeah. Ruby.
And it sold. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it was Ruben.
Yeah, that was him. It was 100, and then it was 144 units, 72 two-family homes, and we were selling for $499.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. They were like 14 foot units.
I think they were bigger than 14.
No, they were 14.
They were 14?
They were 14 by 48. But we laid them out, and we laid them out really nice. I mean, we had great architect at the time.
Yep.
That we had still a very good relationship with, and we sat down and we said, look, we want to make this something different, and we came up with that layout, which I think every square inch of that footprint was used for something.
Yeah.
And they sold. I think that was another. So we had some construction delays. I remember that there was some issues with the fire department
Wasn't that during the sheetrock issue?
No, it wasn't sheetrock. What happened with that? There was an issue with the fire department because it was the private street issue.
Yes.
They changed the
rules.
They changed the rules, so you had to kind of figure out the private street, and then there was a utility delay. I remember it was like a year, almost a full year.
That wasn't when the bad sheetrock was coming from China?
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. But when we sold it, I think what were we out of there? 7 months, I think. Yeah. 72 units, and that was every weekend for a year, Saturday and Sunday.
That was our greatest gift together. Was we had vision. We had a way of looking at something and reconceiving it and looking at it out of the box.
All right. So let's see in memory. What was the funniest thing that happened on that job?
We went and we bought for marketing because of the location. We bought a huge, like you see, like in a car dealership or something. It goes up on a tether and it's got a blimp basically. And we went, we filled it up, we had it there. It looked amazing. You could see it from far away.
It was a great 6 hours.
Yeah, and
it landed up in Atlantic Islands.
Yeah. Somebody cut it.
We thought it was a joke. We thought somebody was pranking us.
Yep. And the guy called us and he said it landed on his boat or something.
Yeah, we lived on the water in Atlantic Islands. We thought it was a joke. We said, all right, who put you up to this? Like, no, we have your blimp. That was a few thousand that was gone.
Yep.
That was pretty funny.
Yep. And we were doing a promotion there. Right? Instead of closing costs, it was a car.
Yeah, so my friend Jonathan owned the Saturn dealership at the
Saturn,
time.
Yep.
And I remember we had this crazy idea. We said, let's give a car away.
Yep.
So I went to Jonathan and said, look, here's what we want to do. I need a car. He said, what do you mean you need a car? I said, I need you to give me a car. I said, here's what we want to do, and we'll give a car away with every house. He looked at me like we had 6 heads. He said, give him a car. So we had it was gold. It was a gold Saturn. That was, we kept it in the garage, and we pulled that out for the open house.
Yep.
It worked.
Look, we found different ways to do things, man. You know?
But that was a really, that was a good project. I enjoyed that because, like, again, it sat, and it was just, it needed a little bit of just a different.
Well, it didn't pencil from commercial.
No, it did.
Everybody continued to try and underwrite it for commercial, and you just
couldn't do it.
It wasn't going to work. So it was either find a different use or pass.
Yeah. And we had some people that came in and bought, I think 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Look, for the money, it was a 2-family unit.
Yep, good housing stock.
Yeah, the apartment was a studio, but it was nice. And I remember we were giving full oak floors.
Yeah.
We were giving full tile baths. We gave a little bit nicer of an appliance package.
Yep.
And people saw that, and it sold. It sold pretty quickly. We had mortgages. We had David and Danny there.
Yep. TriStar.
From TriStar, who
still do deals with them.
Just great guys.
Yeah.
Just great guys. Saw David about a year ago. Yeah, just really good people, and they were there. Some like us, they worked, and people were coming in with, looking at the houses, and they were leaving knowing exactly what it would cost. And I think one of the things that let's say, success is too. You measure success, with money, obviously, and that's. But I think one of the things that I think you and I should be most proud of is that was the time, So we were running that job. We were running the job we spoke about with Alan out in Pleasant Plains, which are 2 completely different markets. How $500,000 house and $1 million house.
Yep.
We were doing some stuff in the middle. We were doing the job right off Giffords Lane, those townhouses for like 5. And that was before, the housing crisis.
Yep.
And if somebody asks, not like anybody would, but if somebody ever asks, like, what's the thing that I think we should be most proud of. In all of those days, we never turned over one home with one of these crazy negative AM loans,
Subprimes.
coffee loans,
Yep.
cozy loans.
Wouldn't do it.
We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't do it. And there was a time there that, you know, if your water heater blew, you weren't going to be able to pay the mortgage.
Literally.
It was that.
I remember we testified at a state Senate hearing.
Senate hearing, they called us in to
Yep.
see what happened. What do you mean what happened?
Yep. And that was the exact analogy you used, that if someone's hot water heater blows and that means they can't make their mortgage payment, they shouldn't be buying a home.
Yeah.
And there was a fine line between the government trying to admirably get more people in line for the American dream and home ownership.
Yep. And
And
then
then-
fair housing guidelines are
Yep.
very clear what you can do, and like you said, it's admirable. There's reasons for all of it, but you know they
The private sector bastardized that.
yeah.
They made a complete disaster out
Yeah,
of
but
it.
we never did it.
No.
And it's something that I think, with everything that we've done, I think that's probably the thing that or one of the things that we should be most proud of, because we never made anybody fall asleep and say, "Oh my God,
Right.
what am I going to do?"
Nope.
And people were using houses like ATM machines.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
crazy. People were closing, and 7-8 months later, they were pulling out equity lines.
Yeah.
20, 30,
Oh, don't
40
worry,
grand.
have a reappraise in 3 months.
Dropping PMI in a couple of months. It was
Yeah.
like, this is not
Yeah.
how this was
But
drawn up.
those I think those loan programs at the time, which I think I don't know anybody else that can say that we never turned over a property with one of those loans.
Nope.
I mean, but a lot of people got hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of people got hurt. And then, you know, those projects, you know, all came to an, you know, 08 was 07, 08. That was a wild.
And we reinvented ourselves, right?
Yeah.
It was a rough run,
Yeah.
but we got into defaulted notes,
Yeah.
right? And
Well, now we're skipping the whole how we got started in the North Shore.
Oh my God! Right,
That
I
was-
forgot that whole
yeah.
little.
Yeah, we were eating lunch at
Cargo or
Carl's Clipper,
Carl's Clipper.
and we were looking at the warehouse, and we were like, you know, Frank
Again,
owned a piece of
Alligator
that.
Frank.
Yeah, Frank. You know, we should do that. We said, yeah, all right, let's. You know what? Let's do it. Let's see what we can do with the area of St. George,
Yep.
and it started. And those were
That's something else we should be proud of. We got the first private brick and mortar up in St. George in 50 years.
We, all in all, I think we're $1.5 billion
Yeah.
private development money
Yep.
that we brought into the sector. Yeah, $1.5 billion, and look, there's no doubt that we definitely changed. We definitely
No question.
had a huge impact
Yep.
on that, and we did some really, really cool stuff.
Yep.
Really, I mean, just totally different. Again, everybody said it's never going to work.
Yep.
People tried doing this, 20 years ago and 50 years ago. It's never going to work. But it was always the same eyes that were looking at it, and the need for a different development stock for a different buyer. And then we had, remember the brain drain panel.
Yes.
With Lou.
Lou Tobacco.
Yeah. Who's one of the best guys ever. That's something. Yeah, Lou's awesome. I'm very happy he's at Farrell now, by the way.
Yeah.
Very happy he's at Farrell.
Good Farrell boy.
Yeah.
Basically, the study was for
we're losing our 18 to 34-year-old
demographic
population.
We had, they were coming home from school and they were
And there's
coming
no
from this
housing for them.
crazy, kind of walkable, exciting life style, and we just had no housing stock at all.
And it started, and we started I guess the View. Wasn't it? It was the Views. It was the View.
No,
the
we
Pearl.
started with 155, the Point.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. The Point. That's
Point,
right. That was the
and
first
then the
one.
Accolade, right?
We called it the Pearl.
The Pearl.
Remember the Pearl? Yeah.
Yep. And then 139, the lots
Yeah.
across the street, the
Yeah.
View.
Then we had to kind
The
of explain
assemblage
to
was doing
everybody
it.
what C42 was,
Yep.
and what density was, and again, we just kind of really taught ourselves, and
Crazy times, right?
yeah, but that was good stuff.
So we'll leave the names out of it, but
Yes.
you remember this story. another lesson, folks. Our clients, until you stop and you really kind of think about it and you talk through it, you don't realize how much knowledge they imparted.
Oh, my
intentionally, unintentionally, as you go through the process. And we had a developer who, at the time, we thought was getting really hurt in a couple of transactions. And we couldn't understand. The analogy I used was, the building was filling up with smoke, and every floor you went to, we showed you an exit, and you continued to not exit the building. You just kept going higher and higher and higher. Eventually, you have to jump. And we didn't get it. We didn't understand what he was doing or how he was, or why. And it all came full circle after the fact, where a banker was in a meeting with us and this client, and the banker came in and was so aggressive and disrespectful. He was disrespectful to the client and barking at the client.
That lasted about 48 seconds with us in the room.
I'm going to this, I'm going to have you do this, and you're going to have to do that, and I want to know who's handling this, and I want to know who's handling that. And he said to the guy, you've got a big problem. And the sponsor, the developer, turned around and he said, my friend, when I owe you $50,000, then I have a big problem. When I owe you $50 million,
you've got a
big problem.
And
the light bulb went off, and we were like, oh, now we got it.
Yeah.
Crazy times.
And he was right.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Look, he had a strategy there that agree with it or disagree with it. It was brilliant.
Brilliant.
The way he covered himself on the way out.
Brilliant.
The things that he did. The guy was brilliant.
Yeah, taught us a lot, good and bad.
Yep.
Learned some expensive lessons.
Yep.
But also did very well.
Yeah.
We did, we did
so
well.
We had a deal with this guy. He was a religious guy out of Borough Park. And we had a deal, and he was short on the closing. Right? And we called this the Borough Park Shuffle.
Borough Park Shuffle.
And we were at the house, and he made a couple of phone calls, and he had his kind of right hand come by, and he said, "Go take a ride with so and so. Don't worry about it. I'll get this squared away." So we went around and literally just went and knocked on doors in Borough Park, and ended up raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? I mean, it was a big number.
Yeah, it was a big number.
That he ended up raising, and of course, the next day he deposited it and got his checks, and everything went the way it was supposed to go, and he got it closed. But for us, it was remarkable. Door after door, people were handing over all sorts of money for this guy. Yeah. No paperwork, no contracts, no agreements, no operating it, none of
Nothing.
It. The guy just needed to source money, and boom, he made a few phone calls, and he sourced it.
Pulled it off.
Pretty wild.
That was, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Do you remember the story? I think we spoke about this recently. Remember when we were on 18th Avenue, and we were coming from a closing?
Yep.
And so this was 2000, again, by car. I remember the car I had. So this was 05. And we didn't, what was going on with some guy just gets in the car.
Old religious guy comes up, opens the door,
and
just sits in the back of the vehicle.
Yeah, it was an Escalade, so it was a little higher. And the guy was elderly. Somebody just told us where to take him. You actually had to help get him in and situated, and we're looking at each other like, did this guy just get in my car and tell me where to take him?
I remember that. He opened the door and he was struggling to get in.
Yeah.
I looked at you looked at me, and you're like, help him. So out.
Yeah.
We helped this stranger into the car.
It gave us an address to take him to.
Yeah.
And I think we should date ourselves. Uber didn't exist back then.
Yeah. There was no mistake in this being an Uber.
Yeah, there was no Uber.
No.
It was, and you can't hail a cab in Brooklyn. And I mean, it was a black on black Escalade with tinted windows and 22-inch wheels. It's not like this could be mistaken for a cab. So I just got in the car. It was like, all right, take me here. And we looked at each other and, all right, guess we're going. I mean, I literally had to hold the laughter, and I was looking at you. You're looking at me.
Oh my God.
And
we were like, what the hell we were waiting for a candid camera or something to come out, right?
Yeah. And we took him.
Yep.
And he
Yeah,
got out of
we called the client afterwards, remember?
Yeah, we
and
called
he
the
was
client.
like, yeah, sometimes that'll
happens.
happen.
Yeah.
People just get in and ask for a ride.
Yeah, it happens.
Wild.
Yeah. That's a good story. Must have like the hubcaps.
Yeah. The fancy hubcaps.
Fancy hubcaps.
You're going to buy some fancy hubcaps.
That was a good time.
When did we go to 206?
So, let's see. It was 201B, and then I think it was 201, 202, 203. Didn't we have 205?
Yep.
I think we had 205 was the next. So that was, let's see, BMW was my 7 Series. So 2007. 2006, 2007.
And we were growing.
And then we went.
And then we had a breakthrough, right? And we took the suite next door.
Well, we took 203. And then after that was done, we grabbed that, and then we took 205. Because we leased the first office to our computer guy at the time.
Yes.
He took that space.
That's right.
And then we took the last space that we were in that building was 205.
And that was when I was in the hamster phase. I was playing with the hamsters, remember?
These hamsters.
Well, as growing up, when I was a kid, I never had as many pets as I wanted to have. So as I became a young adult, I made up for it. Yeah.
Huh?
I was gonna say the same thing, just made up for it now.
Oh yeah, forget it.
Right.
Yeah.
This
This
true.
is where it starts. You're seeing the impetus of all this now, Pete.
Pete, you're going to appreciate this.
Yeah. Oh please, it was disgusting. Go ahead.
So I got
I'm
some
itchy.
hamsters.
I'm literally. I'm pulling the microphone out. I'm itchy thinking about it.
And they were the cutest little things. I would have them on my desk and I would play with them. And
Cute to you.
literally inside of a year, 2 years, honest to God.
How long?
It wasn't that long?
A month and a half?
No, come
2
on.
months.
It
2
wasn't-
months max.
No.
Yes.
At the
We
peak.
were only in that office for 2 years.
How many did I end up having at the peak, honestly?
Well, the way I remember it, it was a great idea because you got 2 male hamsters. This
Right.
way,
They
they're
told me
not
there
gonna-
were 2 male
Yeah,
hamsters.
they lied.
They lied.
And it was great because you're only going to have 2 of them. And we had more habit trail tunnels than I've ever seen in my life. Going
I literally
desk
had
to
them going
desk
from
to
desk to desk.
And there were, so at the time, it was me, you, Tom, and Mike. We had that back kind of
Yep,
office
that
for
bullpen.
ourselves. So it was like, 250 square feet probably.
Sure.
The room. It was a decent sized room, 200 square feet. It was a decent sized room. And let's see if anybody can guess, they were not 2 male hamsters.
No. Did I have 40, 50 when we were done?
Yeah, because I remember there had to be 40 or 50 of them, but I remember you gave a bunch away
In our office.
back to the pet store. So we probably ended up with like I'd say we wound up keeping like 15 of them.
Yeah.
15 to 20, and we found out some very interesting things
Yes,
about the
we did.
reproductive system of hamsters.
Yes, we did. We did.
And I don't even know how to say this, but if anybody here listening wanting to know, a female hamster can get pregnant more than once.
Yes, so they can bank it. And we
Reuse at will.
reuse it. So yeah, Pete's looking at us with a face.
So when the male hamster
You
got
were so
pregnant,
pissed at me.
I was.
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
I was so mad. So when the 2 male hamsters had babies, we were like, all right, this is fine. And then we're like, wow, she's getting fat again. Cut down on the carbs or something. And that's when we found out you can actually get pregnant again from the first time.
Yeah, you were furious at me
I
because
threw my hands up in the air.
I wanted to keep them going. We literally imagine each desk. The room was probably 4 of these rooms, and on each desk there was a big habit trail kind of tank, and then we had the things that were the tubes that would go up, and I had it high enough so we could all walk under it. And it was literally going from desk to desk. There was hamsters.
It was completely preposterous.
everywhere.
Completely preposterous.
So he finally said enough and made me separate them. And like he said, she started getting fat again. So we looked it up, and they can use from one event, they can get pregnant multiple times. So this thing kept getting pregnant after the fact. Oh my God.
So that's when we got out of the hamster breeding business.
Yeah. I still love my animals though, man.
Yeah, the alligators, please.
I got the kids now. I can't get an alligator now.
I'm saying back then when you had the hamsters.
Yeah. Well, no, I would never feed my babies to the alligator. No way.
And then, so then it was, so after we, let's see, I think 206 was, I think, the last office we were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun. That was fun. And that's when kind of the world went crazy the first time. You know, I remember we were going to do the hotel deal down in Siesta.
Yes.
And
that would have been killer, man. That was a killer spot down in Siesta Key.
And we had that guy Tom in from San Diego.
Yep.
We had Keith from IHG.
Yep.
Down from Atlanta.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah, it was great. We had everybody there. We put the whole thing together. We had council there. We had all the property owners for the assemblage. I mean,
there just was no money left at that point.
And
the
I
credit
remember
crisis just
that's the day it happened. I remember Tom came down and he says we have to pull the plug because hospitality deals. And at the time, any hotel deal that you could bring about, the appetite in the capital market for a hotel deal was just ridiculous.
Yep.
And then, there's hospitality, we've just decided there's no hospitality money.
Yep.
What do you mean there's no hospitality lending? What are you talking about?
Yep.
Crack? What do you mean? Everybody wants to do hotels. And that's it. It was just over. Same thing happened, with the commercial market. It was just as
over.
Fast as it was going crazy.
We went from years at ICSE when it was
couldn't move.
You literally couldn't move. It was so packed. They were playing ping pong.
Ping pong. I remember the ping pong tables
for a couple of the lean years. People were playing ping pong in the aisles.
What do you do?
Yeah. We got into defaulted notes. That's what we did.
Into defaulted notes.
We learned it. We became experts in it.
It's a great business.
Yeah.
We did really well with that.
Yep.
We did really well with that. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
I enjoyed that.
It was a challenge.
Yeah.
That was a real challenge.
Maybe, it was a lot of the projects that, we had set up and we were consulting on, because by that time, the consulting stuff was pretty much as big of an operation as the brokerage. And we were consulting on projects and, these approved sites, which, unfortunately due to, just the circumstances and time, nothing to do with the projects. It was just,
the world stops spinning.
World stops.
That was it.
Banks took everything, take everything back, and they, that's when the whole defaulted note thing.
Remember, we were looking at that project in the Carolinas,
Breton,
and it was it was like a movie, folks. We were going to look at projects that had got caught up in the credit crisis.
Yep.
And, thinking about when is this going to kind of loosen up again and trying to forecast where was the bottom, right? And when would banks get back in the business of lending? And I remember looking at stuff in Florida, stuff in the Carolinas, where entire developments, the whole damn thing, it looked like a movie. It looked like a zombie movie.
Yeah.
If you had 40, 50 houses built, maybe 5 of them still had people in them. When the markets shift like that, if you're in New York, right, it's still the epicenter for jobs. There still is opportunity, albeit slim pickings. But in some of these other places where it's a decentralized job market and you didn't have access to the commerce like you do in New York, they don't just get jammed up and have to fight for their home. They literally were leaving like the boat in the driveway,
gone.
keys on the kitchen table, eerie. Like coffee pot's still there,
Yeah.
and they were just moving to the next state where there was a better shot at getting a job.
Yeah. And if anybody hasn't seen the movie the Big Short,
Yeah. Well done.
and you're slightly interested in real estate, I think that was one of my favorite movies.
It was well
and
done.
the most accurate depiction of what happened, and it was just, yep, there's a bubble. Remember the scene? There's a bubble. There's a bubble. It happened. There's definitely a bubble, and it went from the capital market appetite for the mortgages, for the paper, drove an entire country crazy. Everybody was buying one house, two houses, three houses, leaving the money. It was done. It was over. And when banks don't lend money anymore, what do you do?
So we had a saying, because we've been through a few cycles now, and there's no disrespect to doctors at all, of course. Doctors do what they do best.
Yes.
But when you're at your local doctor or your dentist and they're telling you about the 10-house job that they're building, get out of the market.
Yeah.
That's right. When it got so crazy, and you made money by accident if you were on the development side. No matter how many mistakes you made, the things were appreciating so unbelievably fast that was kind of our thing. When you start seeing those people who have no real estate background whatsoever actively, I don't mean like being a passive investor, like they were building homes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's time to check out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
It was scary. And it'll happen again. It's going to happen again. It's going to be called something different, but anytime you've got a capital market appetite for something, that's what's going to win.
Yep. The American way.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'm going to jump ahead to somebody talk about the American way. I bought this morning cryptocurrency from an ATM machine.
From an ATM machine?
From an ATM machine.
Explain.
There are. I know this has nothing to do with what we were talking about. We're saying the American way. So I have a couple of clients that asked if we accept cryptocurrency for payment.
Sure.
And obviously, no, but then one of the clients that asked, I said, I don't understand enough about it.
Mm-hmm.
So this turned into a multi-hour discussion with this gentleman, and let me tell you, it's like a light bulb kind of went off, and I just trying to understand it, and the way you understand this, the way my brain works, I'm not very good with theoretical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't do well with it. I can't carry it through for whatever reason. It's just a mental block. I can't get around it. So I said the only way I'm going to really understand this is if I do it. So I was looking how do you buy cryptocurrency? And I'm sure that people are like, oh, of course you know how, but a lot of people don't know this. And I found out that there are crypto ATMs.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And it was at the Circle K convenience store in Route 9 in Marlboro, which is a gas station. It's a gas station. And there's an ATM machine there, and you can put money, cash, in the ATM machine, and you get crypto.
What, into your wallet, your
into
coin
your
wallet?
Into your wallet, yeah. You the machine's got a camera on it, and you scan your QR code. And
wild.
20 minutes later, you can either buy, it's a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin thing maybe? I don't know, whatever it's, you can buy, huh?
Dogecoin.
No, it wasn't Doge. But you can buy three different coins, and it goes right to your wallet, and then from there, the guy explained to me what Garda is and how to use that. But I thought it was the weirdest thing. And I was thinking when I was there, so this would be a great thing to kind of talk about in addition to the past, like where things are going. And you buy it at an ATM machine.
I want to do a crypto race.
And it was It was. You want to see a picture of it?
Sure.
I'll show you. It was actually. It literally is an ATM machine. Hang on a second here.
You know, when you think about how fast things have changed, that's wild.
It's an ATM.
That's wild. Show the
Yeah,
camera.
Which camera? What are we doing? That one. Yeah. It was at a gas station. Yeah. Take a huge fee.
Yeah,
Huge
well,
fee.
of course.
20%.
20%.
Yeah, I learned that afterwards. I'm like, what do you mean? But I would have never understood if I didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, but now, now that after doing it and after, a couple of, a few nights just kind of trying to educate myself on it.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like an old man learning.
We are old men.
New technology.
That's exactly what we are. We're old men learning new technology.
Remember when we started going to ICSC?
Yeah.
And we were like the young kids.
Dude, we were going to ICSC and we were carrying around with us. It was the most miserable experience. We were carrying around with us
the wheeled carts.
No, that was after Tom. Before Tom, we were actually carrying the crap in bags. Right? The flyers, because when we first started, nobody was using, digital stuff.
No.
We were carrying these, huge satchels with just
Stuff.
unbelievable amounts of flyers around for each project. And then Tom joined us, and he was like, no, stupid. They've got these things that you could wheel around, and we thought we were big shit.
Yeah.
And fast forward a couple of years, and we were the centerpiece of Staten Island. We had a great booth. It's crazy how that changed.
Do you remember we walked up? You and me walked up to the Domino's.
Yep.
The Domino's booth.
Yep.
Bob Gates was the guy's name. Really nice guy at the time. His Domino's rep. And we said, we're from Staten Island. He goes, look, guys, if you're from Staten Island, there's only one location we want. It's the corner of Victory and Bay.
And we were like,
we said, hold on a minute. And we pulled out the corner. He goes, this is the corner of Victory and Bay. We said, you said you wanted it. He goes, have a seat.
Yep.
And that was I think that was the first deal we did on ICSC, wasn't it? Like the first one we actually did, there kind of on the spot. We started, we talked terms and we did, but it was the only spot I'm interested in is this. Okay.
It was fun to having worked so hard for so long in Staten Island and selling Staten Island and having to shed that kind of Staten Island thing, watching reps literally like snicker and laugh you out of their booths.
Yep.
Right? Go from that to, we were so proud we had big lights on top of the booth, Staten Island. Right? Because it was almost like watching our kid grow up. Staten Island became a place that the corporates wanted to and want to be in now.
One of my personal favorites over the years, favorite clients, and I like a lot of clients. We've made a lot of good relationships. But one of my favorite relationships is with Josh.
Yeah.
From Madison.
Yeah. Great guy.
Great
visionary.
Really super honorable guy.
Yeah.
Handshake deal guy. And it was funny. We did a lot of stuff with him.
Yep.
And we were it was at the New York show when it was still at the Hilton. And I was on one escalator. Remember that they had the tall escalators at the show? I was going one way, and I heard some other guy said, and you know what? I don't know how the hell they do it, but those guys at Madison get all the good property on Staten Island. And I said, I said to myself, I don't know how they do it. It was just not. I think that was when the light kind of went off. That like the institutional money finally realized.
Yep.
Staten Island was here.
Yeah.
And was
a viable place.
Was a viable place.
Yeah. And now, right, coronavirus is a great example of why Staten Island is a safe place, and it is a safe bet because we don't have those crazy swings on the way up, but we also don't have them on the way down.
On the way down.
This is a doubles and triples, man. That's what Staten Island's about. Doubles and triples.
Yeah.
You're going to hit an occasional grand slam, but doubles and triples all day long in real estate. Steady, steady, steady growth.
So what's next?
So Well, next for you, yeah, I know. So next is, because we're already getting way over, I just
We
wanted
over?
to talk a little bit about your business
Oh,
and what's happening now. So John's passion, as you could tell, has always been cars. It's been his thing. And he made a investment in, I'll stop talking. I'll let you talk. You talk about it.
so we were representing a client, and our client owns the rights to a sports bar franchise, and this is Staten Island is one of the territories. And we went to an expo, it was franchise expo, to meet corporate real estate for that brand. Talk about site selection, the stuff we normally do. So Rob and I went, and finished our meeting, and turned around, walked out. Yeah, you want to see what's going on?
Sure, of course.
It was just very interesting. I see this big banner says garage living, and the backdrop of it was a blue 911 Porsche. At the time, I had a red one. So, like you said, you know me. I'll talk to anybody about cars and real estate.
Yep.
I'll talk to anybody about it. Started talking to the guy. Little did I know, he's the guy that owned corporate in Toronto. And so, what do you guys do? He said, well, we've got this concept. We've been around for 10 years now, and is extremely, really high-end garages, residential garages, flooring, wall systems, storage, car lifts, cabinetry, but super, super high-end stuff. Super high-end stuff. Really design-oriented. I liked it, and I think within 60 days, own the rights to Jersey for the brand.
That's how we did things, right? Like nuts.
Yeah, and it's been so that was 3 years ago, and it's a fun business. So basically, what we do is we come in and we take what is most people's front door to their house and convert it into part of their home. It doesn't become this this pit of stuff thrown all over the place. It's 400 to 600 square feet of your house is now finished. It's the way people get into their home. It's like I said, it's the homeowner's front door. And it's there's all types of surveys out there. It's the most underutilized portion of the home. It's the room in the home that people are the least satisfied with. It's the room that they don't see what like you can see what you can do in the kitchen. You can see what you can do in a family. You can't see what you do in a garage. So we come in there, and the business model, it's basically like you're doing a custom kitchen. We come in and, we speak to you about what you do and, what you're looking for. We 3D render it all out and, give you renderings. And
I couldn't envision, when you say people don't know, I had no idea. Yeah. How do people find, if they wanted to see the work product, where can they find pictures and see kind of case studies?
So the website's, it's garageliving.com. You can Google Garage Living New Jersey. We own the rights to New Jersey and Staten Island. Couldn't leave Staten Island out of it, Of
course.
Had to be part of the deal. And social media, it's Garage Living NJ. But it's something that we did in our home. We always did the garages when we did. I always had a finished garage where I spent a lot of time. I always had TVs, right? Yep. We always did the motorcycles.
Always.
There. And it's something that I believed in. I thought it was a good idea, and we're on track. We'll break $2 million this year. I think.
God bless.
It's our third full year in business, and it's.
Is that the best way for people to reach out?
Yeah,
that's how they get you?
It's Google Garage Living New Jersey, or Garage Living in general. We've got a design showroom that is in Monmouth County in Morganville, Marlborough Township. It's a full garage design studio. Same way you'd go to look at a custom kitchen design studio, and now you're looking at a garage design studio.
But folks, if you're not a garage person or you're not into cars,
and most people aren't,
right.
It's not. We're not a car
It's hard
guy
to
here.
understand that how sick it is. I mean, it is unbelievable the work that they do, and it does take a whole nother room of your home, and it makes it livable, right? It makes it one of the more comfortable rooms in your house. So,
and we're not a man cave company.
Yeah.
We don't, we're not, look, most, we, 50% of our clients are women. It's not that we're just, we have our collector car clients and I love I've seen some of the wildest things, you'll ever see when it comes to cars. But, that's the car clientele is definitely a portion of it. But, I'd say 50% of the business is just really space transformation. And taking what's an unused spot. And look, it's a big room.
Huge room.
It's in most people's homes, it is, if not the largest, the second largest contiguous space in the home.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about it, it's completely unfinished. It's cool. It's
No
cool.
doubt.
We'll do some other locations and hiring salespeople now, and it's fun.
Good stuff.
It's fun. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to do a part 2 because
Yeah,
we're running
definitely.
way
Oh,
long.
we're not even close.
Not even cracking the surface yet. No. Cracking the surface. Scratching
the surface.
What would you crack? We're not cracking the what? Is cracking even go in that expression? No, it doesn't.
No.
So we're not even scratching the surface, folks. Yeah. So if you want to reach out, again, it is amazing product. Garage Living in New Jersey. John Pitera, great to see you. As always, love you, baby. And we'll do this again.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks everybody. Man. Stay safe.